Oh, goodness, I just watched Coupe de Ville finish fourth in the Sire Stakes. Wow, that was a very good mile, and it's very close to solidifying her into the consolation, which is a big deal on a number of fronts. One, she's in the sale, and two, not only will she get to race in the consolation for the Buckeye, which is a great spot for her to be in, but she would now get to race in the consolation for the Sire Stakes, which is also a great spot to be in. So a good start to the night so far. It started off wonderful today already. Tactical Mounds was a winner and beat a very, very good 4-year-old. That mare that she beat, Yanaba, was a winner in 51. If I'm not mistaken, at the time set the track record at Oakville. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And a huge mile won by Yanaba that day, and two by Tactical Mounds to dismantle a pretty good take. Came first over, cleared to the front. Yanaba could not catch up to her, and she was a clear and concise winner. Man, she looked very, very good. So let's get to those sophomores. Let's talk about all of them, what's going on. I did a video talking about the sale, who's in the sale, why they're in the sale, and what will go on. I think I'll touch base on those a little bit here as we go through. Absolute Euphoria is not in any sale. The reason being there's abundant paths for her moving forward. Non-winners. She fits the consolation now, so a lot of upside for this pacing filly moving forward, man. And to be honest, only really just scratching the surface here, as she gets to grow up and fill out, because she is still very immature for a big horse. As she gets to grow up and fill out, I think she's going to be a real player in Ohio, maybe other places also. Looks very, very good right now. Austral Hanover, he is in the sale, and I'm going to have a lot of people asking me why. It doesn't matter how many times I make the case, people are still going to see the horses and say, literally on cue, an email comes in about the horses in the sale. Why would they be in the sale? It's simply, I talked a second ago about paths, the abundant paths forward for Tactical Mounds. Well, for these other horses, there isn't abundant paths. Not where we race generally, not in our backyard. And we have a big yard, right? Some of the smaller places, a horse like What a Mission would fit in great at Ocean and Dover. Maybe Yonkers, because he's a non-winner's a 4 horse. But there are other horses that, they're going to have to find their own nooks and crannies. And, for somebody out there with a stable that just wants a solid quality trotter to race, then we have a whole bunch of them for you coming up here a week from Tuesday. And Austral Hanover is definitely near the top of that list. Brace for Landing's not going anywhere. It's not just because I love the horse. I love all the... Austral Hanover's well documented. It's probably one of my favorite horses. And Brace for Landing is just getting better and better and better and better and better. I had a wonderful conversation with Scott Zeron the other day about him. I thought that maybe he just didn't have more to offer in the Poconos. He said quite the opposite. He was just a little rough in the first turn, and I don't know him that well, so I was being very protective of him in the last turn. He said, even when that horse got halfway by me in the last turn, I knew there was no shot I wasn't going to be second. He said he raced very, very good. So again, some wrinkles to continue to iron out a Brace for Landing, but I still think there's talk about pass forward. We are in the business of keeping horses that can move forward, but when you've reached your limit, when you've saturated your wins and your money, then it may be time for somebody else to, maybe somebody else is out there looking for that type of horse. We have lots to offer for everybody in the months, weeks and month coming up. For us, a good way to bring in some new blood, because not only are we selling, but we're going to be looking to buy. We have been buying. A couple of our best purchases maybe ever. Definitely one of them was made recently in Think of Galaxies, it appears, so far as the aged horse market goes. And we're going to continue to do that. So move out some horses that maybe those paths have narrowed, and bring in some horses that have lots more. So that's what that's all about. So Brace for Landing, lots moving forward for him. Carter Michael Dio is continuing. Somebody said, is he hurt again? No, he's not hurt. He had trained 5 times, and the vet thought that line was just a touch more prevalent under x-ray than it was the last time. So rather than just say, well, that's going to happen, let's push forward. He's a big, heavy horse. You know what? Let's put him in the pool and jog him light for 2 weeks and then reassess. I know the vet said 3 or 4 weeks, but we'll reassess after 2 weeks. Cash Deals, she came up a little sicker last start, and she had a number of little things bothering her. So we're going to focus on the 5th leg of the prospect with her. It's in a couple of weeks. And then obviously she is the final. I believe she's probably still the leader in the Prospect Series. So we'll see how that plays out over the next little while. Coupe de Ville, I just watched her race. I thought it was one of her better miles of her life. She looked very, very good tonight. Really, really happy with her. Jason and Enos, our blacksmith, everybody's done a great job here with Coupe de Ville. She is in the sale, and I would say it's not a certainty. It's not cemented yet, but it looks like she is going to make the Sire Stakes Consolation and the Buckeye Consolation, which is, somebody just sent me a message, said she did do enough. So that would be great. But again, a mare with 5 or 6 wins. Sure, there's lots of spots. Yonkers for this filly. She already took a mark of 56.5 mile track. She'll get around any size track. And then if you're one of those people that look at the what our outs are, same as we do, what's your exit strategy? Very, very well-bred filly also. So Coupe de Ville offered up a week from Tuesday. It is worth noting, before everybody has a meltdown, I need to keep saying this, there will be reserves in all these horses. They're all quality horses. They're all absolutely sound, and I'm not giving any of them away. So relax. And it's fair to ask, what's the reserve? I'll let you know if you want to know. If you're an owner of one of them. Otherwise, I won't be letting you know. But I think it's a pretty, put it this way, it's just north of Fair Market. So it would be on the seller's side of Fair Market, which is fair. I'm buying horses right now. I know how tough it is to buy quality horses right now. They're not offered up for sale yet. They will be in the first wave, I suspect, of people offering up their horses in preparation of building sale capital for the 2-year-old, for the yearling sales coming up. And this is a major component of why we are doing this. Let's continue here. Crantini, he'll be racing in the Sire Stakes Consolation next Sunday. I'm not going to drive him. My brother Mark is. He drove the horse. Well, the horse just didn't fire the other day. And he's also going to drive Spitfire, who will be qualifying, who will be racing on Consolation Day. So we'll get that taken care of right off the hop. I am coming home. I'm not driving Patrick Friday. He's down a class. Ronnie Wren's going to drive him. I talked to him about the horse the other day. Saturday I will be in the Poconos because I think it is important that I go to drive Insider Trading, Memory and Imagination, and I hope to God, I just don't think it'll happen, but I hope to God Lonely Lakewood gets in also in the Consolation. Sunday, I'll come home Saturday night if I can. Sunday, Spitfire. Listen, we all know the score with Spitfire. It's his first start back after having an episode of atrial fibrillation in his last start 5-6 weeks ago. A fifth is a win, pretty much is the way I portrayed it to my brother Mark. Crantini, if he's on his game, has a really, really good shot. But Spitfire, we're going to grab some money. Get me a bone. Go get me a bone. That's what I want. So that's where we're at with those horses. Cupid Express was amazing the other day. What a beautiful filly. Just a really, really nice filly. Cutie Cumber, still, again, the exit strategy there of a well-bred broodmare is there. She has not come forward. If you'd asked me even 2 months ago, Five Fish Species or Cutie, who's going to have the strongest finish to 2023, I would have said Cutie, and I would have been 100% wrong. She would have to come on like gangbusters right now to catch up to Fish. Five Fish Species racing tonight in about 35 minutes in a Sire Stakes event in Batavia. She is on fire right now in New York and looking very, very good as we head into the fall. Gandalf the Black did not make the sale. I thought about it, but I said he's in no worse position now than he was a month ago, and I don't think that will change over the next month. He has options to race in Georgian. He is in the hunt in the grassroots division, and he is a decent horse right now. I think he only has 4 wins, maybe 3, 4, 5 wins. He's a useful horse right now, and although his paths are narrowing, I don't think they've got to a place yet where we're like, okay, it's time to start talking about moving. So he's staying for now. Horn Player, listen, I made reference to it this afternoon. I just think the filly couldn't get a hold of the track. That's it, nothing more. There's nothing more wrong with Horn Player than she just could not get a hold of the track. We'll try our best to rectify that. I said, no, we don't have to rectify that. I know exactly how to rectify it. Just put her right back on the truck, headed right back to where she came from. So she'll be in the Meadows next week. And that's not me being upset at Harry or the track or anybody else. This is Mohawk. She can't get a hold of the surface as is. I'm not going to shake around and, move around and say, we'll put more grab, we'll do this, we'll do that. No. Send her right back where she was. Major Megan just in way too tough the other day. But the good news is we have more than enough options to make her in really cheap, and we're going to take care of that this week. She'll be in a condition claimer, or Tim said, the straighten out. Just put her in where she's 1 to 5 if you can. Anything after that holds precedence. So if she's going to be 3 to 5 in one class and 4 to 1 in the other, put her in the 3 to 5 class. Just get her in where she can win. Merchant Man. Jason said he trained well today, so he's in to go Wednesday. I opted not to race him while Northfield was down. He just had such an abysmal start, his last start. I just said, no, you can't, just leave him alone. Race him at Northfield when we come back. He is in the sale a week from Tuesday also. My 1% is also in the sale for the very same reason. 5 wins and coming up on 40,000 made. Yes, he's a decent prospect horse. Yes, he's going to have some luck in the non-winners classes at Georgian. He was second last week. He's 2 to 1 this week. He's in the right spot, and he'll do somebody some good anywhere. But again, nobody wants to buy a horse that can't do them some good. So you really have to leave some meat left on the bone if you're going to sell horses. What I mean by that is, if all classes are exhausted, why the hell would anybody buy a horse? You have to leave something there for people to sink their teeth into and say, yeah, this is how I get a chunk of my money out, and then we see what we have after. That's what I do when I buy horses. So it's obviously what other people will do too. Nothing But a Dreamer was great the other day. Somebody said, what a different horse. He was no different. Just easier class. Yeah, he was sharp. But I mean, the night I drove him in 54-2 at Mohawk, he felt like the exact same horse that he did the other day at the Meadows. I think he's going to come forward now that he won. Now that he realizes he can be a bully again and he can race, I think you're going to see him come forward in a big, big way over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. But it had nothing to do with any sort of trainer change. It had everything to do with a address change. The horse left and went to a new track and I told everybody, you have to understand, the easiest way to explain all this is it is simple to export from Mohawk and incredibly difficult to import to Mohawk. Very tough place to race horses. Oh, what I got now? Smoking Hot Irish Girl. I thought one of her best races lifetime was the other day out of the 8 hole. She was awesome. Spitfire overseas, looking for a big qualifier Tuesday. I'm not going to qualify him Tuesday. I was torn on this. Sure, I want to go qualify him. He's not a hard horse to drive. Mike Wilder is going to qualify the horse for us Tuesday. He said he would go and do that for me. On Tuesday, I'm going to the fair. We have Gypsy Hill and a number of horses. You might say, oh, Anthony, the fair, it's still important. We're trying to set our horses up for the end of the year here, and this is a big deal, and it is a big fair for us. It's not the money. It's about getting the horses back, or either staying on track, back on track, or at least positioned in a place where they can do some damage at the end of the year and have a good 2024. That's what this fair this week is. So Spitfire trained awesome the other day. He was push button. So Mike Wilder is going to qualify him Tuesday, and the qualifier means nothing. Even if but worst case scenario, he breaks. Well, that's not worst case, but bad scenario, he breaks. He can still race on Sunday. All right. Day Special is going to get x-rayed this week and start back jogging, I suspect. Steel Cowboy was horrible training the other day at the Meadows, and I mean horrible. Scoped him after, full of mucus, but we did got to tinker with his shoes. Got to get this guy back going forward again. And I'm going to be over that way a little bit more over the next 2-3 weeks anyway. So he's going to get the full court press moving forward. Worst case scenario, much like Oakwood Cowboy. I don't like to do it. I don't like to write with a big red pen and then say out to the field for 3 weeks. I don't want to do that. But it is an option. It's always an option. Swinging Senorita's racing later on tonight. She's got a ton left for the rest of the season. Somebody said, I can't wait to breed her. We're not breeding Swinging Senorita. She's going to be sold in Harrisburg, probably. Good-looking filly with lots of pedigree, with 300,000 made, multiple stake winner. Yeah, we're not breeding Swinging Senorita. It's always a tricky situation when we're talking about breeding, especially with our clients. The vast majority of our clients don't want to breed her. Now, I know there's a small percentage that do, because Springhaven, Sanina and Jeff still own a piece of her, but, for the vast majority of the people that are still the owners of Swinging Senorita, how are we possibly going to retain a filly that's worth what she's worth? And it's hard to price her, but I know she's worth a lot. So whether it be her or Cutie Cumber or even a Crantini later on, all the horses that are going to command decent money, that are good-looking, strong, flashy horses, they need to be in the flesh sale, like Harrisburg. And that's likely what's going to happen. And I haven't talked to Sanina and Jeff yet, but, when it comes to Swinging Senorita, listen, we got $80,000 for Bomb Hugger. Nice filly, totally different market, decently bred, Not a big filly, but a nice filly. Swinging Senorita is a big, giant filly. Flashy going, lots of stake money on her card. Very, very good lifetime mark, which may be improved before Harrisburg. She still has Indiana. We have her paid in lots of stuff at the end of the year, and I think that filly's probably going to be worth a lot of money. So that's the plan with Swinging Senorita. Tactical Mounds, oh my God, might be one of our best horses right now. And I know that Megan tells me how much she loves her, but that's because she's a lovable big filly. But not only is she a big teddy bear, she can fly. That was an amazing mile today from her, just because of who she beat and how she had just come first over and dummied them in the last turn and drove away. She looked very, very good today. Tailgate Buzz, yeah, I'll take the blame. I don't regret driving the horse like that the other day. In the first turn, you have to take into account. We all can look at it from hindsight and say, Anthony, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. But you have to rewind to how that took place and what was going on at the time. The race changes dramatically if I don't keep going with in my mind, with Tailgate Buzz. And I just felt at that moment I would rather roll the dice up there than back here. And that's what I did. Wallop is in to go at Northfield Park. He should be good on Wednesday, I believe. Warwi Yuri will race this week. He did. He was a little bit sick and a little bit tied up, and his liver is high. He had more than enough reason to race bad his last start and pick any one of them. But he will be schooling this week, I believe, and then back in to go next week. He's number 2 in the prospect right now. He's having a decent year in that regard. I know a lot of our clients are like, well, we didn't buy him to be a prospect horse. No, you didn't. But unfortunately for you, what you're going to see is a horse that looked like he was going to be a loss at 2 and at 3. Probably pick a lot of that back up at 4. I really have a lot of faith in this horse, and I think he's going to be a decent horse for us, a 4-year-old. And I've been saying that since he was 2. This isn't me, trying to sugarcoat a bad situation. I've said this about this horse since he was 2. And what a mission. He is in the sale also. This is a trickier situation. There's going to be a decent reserve on him. He only has 3 wins. Very effective horse, and he tried to pitch the break last night. The horse never runs. Hasn't really made 2 breaks this year. 1, he got jammed up in the first turn, and 2, he was just goofing off behind the gate last night and just lost him. Now, in that regard, when he starts throwing his head like that, I would rather take him off the gate and time him into the gate. But, Tyler was a little bit close to them and just decided, I'm just going to leave him alone and hope he settles. Well, he didn't. So, he made a break, and not the end of the world. He'll bounce back. So those are our 3-year-olds. A little discussion about sales. A little discussion about all that is going on with these horses. Now, a big video coming up. I'm going to do the 2-year-old video. Then I'm going to do my opening also. I'll be back in just a minute.